How's it going, guys, and welcome back to the channel. And as you can tell, we're not in a typical location where we normally start our videos. I'm actually at the Weehawken Ferry Terminal right now, getting ready to cross the Hudson and actually go to the New York Auto Show. It's the first day that it's open to the public on the Friday. I think it's the 14th or 15th today. But I actually got early access tickets, so I'm going there for 9 a.m. And basically what I'm going to be trying to do throughout the auto show is I'm going to be going multiple days, and in this video it's just going to be a kind of brief summary of what really just catches my eye today as I'm just walking around. But I'm also going to be posting videos of like in-depth sections of the auto show. So for example, like the exotics or like hypercars, I'll do just like a singular video on that, or like a manufacturer's display. Like I'll basically whatever I find interesting, I'm just going to do multiple videos throughout this auto show. And to say that I'm excited is definitely an understatement. The last time I went to the New York Auto Show was 3 years ago, and that was actually the last auto show that they had, because 2 years ago in 2020 obviously it got canceled due to COVID, and then last year as well it got postponed like 5 times, and then they eventually did cancel it. But today we're finally back after 3 years, and it's definitely going to be a blast. But next time I see you guys, we're probably going to be in the Javits Center taking some footage of some cars. All right, so I just entered the Javits Center, and actually I could see it from here, but probably one of the main reasons that I'm really excited for this auto show, and if you've been subscribed to my channel, you know what I'm talking about. Wow, the light got really bad there. Sorry, I apologize. But literally right behind me is the Nissan setup, like pretty much like the first thing that you see when you walk in the main entrance, as well as the Ford setup right over there. But as you guys can probably guess, there are actually the two 400Zs are right behind me. You have the one in like the metallic blue color, as well as one in like the bright yellow. So we're gonna go take a look at them right now.
Things about this I want to know more about.
Yeah, and to be honest, like after, you know, all the anticipation behind this car, it definitely did not disappoint. It looks so much better in person. Again, if you guys have been subscribed to my channel for a while now, I've done like so many, you know, videos on like the anticipation and the build up and eventually the reveal of the 400Z, and they just look so damn awesome. And there's actually a little line here to go and sit in this blue one. So I'm going to go do that right now and hopefully get some good shots of it up close, as well as in the interior for you guys. All right, guys, so here I am with the Z. I just started talking about it again. It's really awesome to actually see this thing in person, because on my channel I've done so many videos when it was initially revealed, when it was initially in the prototype stage, and honestly, I mean, it's just so much better in person. I don't know how, but moving on to the back, you see like the really modern taillights that still give off the feeling of the 300ZXs, and we're actually even allowed to sit in it. So I'm gonna take my bag off, but yeah, just looking at this interior, and that is just absolutely crazy. And this blue one does have the blue interior too, and it's definitely not like too much blue. It goes well, it goes really well with the black top, as well as the black in the interiors. But now actually sitting in the Z, you can see kind of the Alcantara door cards right here with the leather. Still has the same kind of handle as the 350 and the 370s. A lot of stuff has moved over, as well as like the 3 gauges. And this one is actually manual. The clutch is super light, as most modern manuals are, but pretty short throw. Nothing too crazy. And I mean, but this display screen is really awesome. The entire thing is like a basically digital display. You can alter it in numerous ways. I don't even know all of it right now. And yeah, but that's pretty much it. This thing absolutely takes my breath away to actually see it and, you know, touch it in person. It's just so awesome. You even do have the little start stop button right here, which is pretty cool. All right, so those two Zs were really awesome to see in person, and I definitely think I'm gonna go back and this entire Nissan display, or kind of Nissan section of the show, I'm probably gonna do a full video on it, just because I want to talk a little bit more in depth about those Zs. But before moving on from the Nissan section today, we're actually going to be talking about this Formula E car. Yeah, they actually have a Formula E car here, which is really, really awesome. I mean, it's so damn tiny. You don't realize how tiny these things are. I don't know the actual specs or dimensions and how they compare to a Formula One car. Obviously, you know, this thing's electric, so it's it's powered completely different. But as far as the size is concerned, it's really cool to see a modern Formula One car with the halo and everything. But that is really awesome. And now moving on to the Ford section, they have something that I'm definitely going to show you guys up front that I saw. This is actually what Ford has on their main display. So you have the brand new, kind of just released 2022 Ford GT Hallman Moody Heritage Edition, and then you have an original GT40 Mark II, which, I mean, as a Ford fan, it's absolutely awesome to see. I did actually do a review on a 2019 Ford GT, so if you want to check that out, I'll leave the link on top of the video right now if you're like a new subscriber. But these things look absolutely beautiful together, and the whole gold and red paint scheme, obviously, you know, for the Hallman Moody Heritage Edition, is just absolutely fantastic. And I really love the carbon wheels. The 2019 Ford GT I did a review on actually did have those carbon wheels as well. But just moving on to the back, like even right here, like the opening, it's just, I absolutely love these things. All right, so before actually leaving the Ford section, I did just want to take a closer look at the Mach 1. To any of you guys that may not know, this car is pretty significant because this is the first time that the Mustang is seeing the Mach 1 trim ever since the 2004 model year. So just going into the interior, actually just showing you guys first, there's not really much too special about it. You do have like the Mach 1 door cards right here. They actually do have a Mach 1 badge right here with the production number of this car specifically. And let me actually close this door so you guys won't keep hearing the classic Ford chime. But yeah, not too much with this Mach 1. I do like the just the color scheme with like the gray and the orange, but overall this thing isn't really too important when it comes to the interior. What really separates this guy from the normal new Mustang GT is there's actually a couple engine parts that it shares with the actual S550 GT350s that Ford actually stopped making. I think it has the GT350 intake manifold as well as a couple other things. But yeah, definitely cool that Ford is introducing this Mach 1 back into the Mustang lineup. So now getting to the end of both the Nissan as well as the Ford displays. Over here you do have a Bronco Sport, which I've actually been seeing quite a lot now, and then you kind of have the big boy right front and center. The I believe this one, yeah, this one is actually the Bronco Raptor that Ford just recently announced. So you can tell that this Bronco Raptor compared to this regular Bronco, it's got much bigger tires on it, lifted a lot more higher, and definitely pushing out a decent amount more horsepower. And just to give you guys like a little size comparison, so I'm 6 foot even, and my shoulders are pretty much to the hood line of this thing. So you could see like how tall the roof actually is, and they do actually have the roof off, which is another pretty cool feature that comes with these Broncos. And I actually think that you can get that in the normal Broncos as well, depending upon, I believe, what trim you actually get. So now walking up to the Chevy section, we have probably the vehicle that I'm most excited to see today, right front and center, and that is, of course, the all-new 2023 Chevy Z06 Corvette. This Z06 C8 is absolutely ridiculous to see in person. I mean, you can tell the differences right off the bat between this thing and a normal C8. The rear fenders are so much wider. Very subtle though, like not overdone by Chevy at all. And yeah, this thing just looks absolutely amazing. And right next to me, you actually have the engine that separates the Z06 from the regular C8, and that is, of course, the 5.5 liter high revving flat plane crank engine. I mean, this thing just looks absolutely absurd, and that is all tucked in right in the back of there. But as it's actually panning to the rear now, I'm gonna just show you guys, like, look how wide those rear fenders are. They just come out a lot. I also really love the incorporation of the quad tip exhaust that we saw in the C7 Corvettes being incorporated into this this new Z06. And then going on to the interior, one of the main complaints I had with the interior of these C8s when I actually reviewed a 2020 or a 2019 C8, I'll leave the link to that review on top of the channel too. But one of the complaints is that there's just like a lot of plastic in the interior, and although it was a cool design, I feel like it was made cheaply. Whereas this interior, I don't know if you guys can see, but it actually, basically where all those plastic parts are on the regular C8, you actually have a basically carbon fiber. So you have carbon fiber right near the door controls, and then carbon fiber on that big centerpiece right there that really separates the driver and the passenger. So I actually didn't even notice this when I was looking at the engine from the other side, but going on the back here, or I guess the front, I don't know, but you have the two basically throttle bodies, like dual throttle bodies right there. And then coming in right close here, it looks like Chevy actually basically cut this engine, so you can see the internals, you can see the pistons, you can see the exhaust, and everything's just cut. And I guess that is basically where the you know, intake manifold is, and like the inside of it. And then coming down here, you can see the crank. But this engine is just absolutely amazing. For a domestic engine, it's definitely, I mean, out of this world. And this is, again, this is the main reason why the Z06 is going to compete, and I really think that it's going to do just so damn well against a lot of its exotic competitors on the track, on the road. But yeah, I mean, that's really cool how they kind of just basically chopped up the block, or and I guess the upper half of the engine, and you can see like everything you can see inside the heads here. Super cool. And the design and the engineering behind this engine is just mind-blowing. But now, actually right next to the Chevy section, I kind of stumbled across something really cool. So this is basically like an old, I guess, modified slash exotic section. You have a Renault right here, an old M3. My buddy's actually really gonna like that. He has a E30 himself, a Porsche, an original NSX Mark IV Supra, RX-7, and then I believe that is actually, yeah, that's a R33. I couldn't tell right off the bat because it is a regular Skyline, not the GTR. But like, just a lot of like really amazing clean cars right here. You have an old Alfa Romeo. I mean, this thing is actually really cool. And then over here you have an absolutely slammed Silvia. And then actually moving over here, you have some old rally cars, and this thing is pretty cool. This is a Nissan Pulsar GTI-R, and I actually did a review on a 91 GTI-R, and it's actually the only right-hand drive car that I filmed on the channel. So if you want to check that out, I'll leave that on top of the video, linked on top of the video right now. But actually moving over here, something that I honestly really like, again, as a Ford fan, you have the RS200. And I know I'm kind of filming the back of these cars, but I kind of just snaked around here and found myself in the back. Up behind me, you have the traditional like off-road setup that you see a lot of times in, you know, these different auto shows. And then pretty much like all in front of me, you can see Lexus, Toyota, Kia, like a bunch of different companies. And this is all like a lot of consumer cars. So I'm going to make my way around there soon. But actually, just when I started filming this clip here, I noticed something kind of a little bit farther away that I'm gonna show you guys that I think you are going to like, and that is of course the Toyota GR or Gazoo Racing setup that they have right here. So here is new to 2022, the next generation of the Toyota GR86, again made in conjunction with Subaru. It's kind of like their joint vehicle, and it's very fitting that they placed it right next to the Subaru section right over there. But what I also wanted to take a look at were these Supras. I'm actually hoping to see a Targa Top Supra, and yup, there it is right there. Here's actually the Targa Top Supra. Sorry for the music in the background. I don't know if it's going to pick up that well, but that's so sick. I mean, honestly, the Mark IV Targa Top is so iconic, and I love the fact that, yes, you know, this is still in the prototype phase, which you can kind of see on the back window right there. But if they make this, and they are planning to make this in a, you know, production phase where the new Supra has like a Targa Top trim, that is really, really awesome. I think Toyota kind of got the memo with the introduction of things such as like the Nissan 400Z that really kind of blew it out of the water. And I think Toyota is definitely not giving up on this Mark V Supra just yet, and they're trying to, you know, make new things that people actually want from these cars. Here's just like a regular white Mark V Supra, very similar to the one I reviewed actually back in 2020. And then right over here you have the GT4 Supra, Toyota GR Racing Gazoo Racing Supra. Really awesome. Again, pretty much a full-blown supercar. You can see even like the carbon trim, and then in there the GT4 steering wheel, really awesome. So kind of tiny and compact in the interior there, but completely stripped out. Nice big wing on the back. Right behind me here is one of the two Travis Pastrana vehicles, or Travis Pastrana / Hoonigan vehicles that Subaru actually put on display. I actually do know that that one was one that he did do one of the Gymkhana videos with. So I mean, the thing, they're purebred race cars, and when you put them and couple that with a driver such as Travis Pastrana, I mean, it's mind-blowing. And what I really like too is they didn't, you know, clean these cars for the show. They didn't, you know, do anything. My buddy was actually down in the Philly Auto Show, and I believe this is the same car that was down there like last month or whenever it was. But yeah, you could still see like the wear on the tires, all the scratches and everything on the side skirts, as well as like all the chips and different dings and stuff on the big diffusers. But yeah, this thing is just absolutely amazing. And then moving on, just right behind me here is the new Subaru BRZ. Basically the same thing as the GR86. I think, yeah, the interior is different, although someone's sitting in it right now, so I'm not just gonna go up and, you know, start filming a random person. But I'll probably edit in some clips of the Subaru BRZ interior compared to the GR86 one. But this Subaru's a little bit, I guess, nicer. But it also, I think, is a little bit more expensive. So basically the same car, and that's why Toyota and Subaru are kind of displaying them right next to each other. And then behind me is a car that has gotten a lot of hate. I kind of feel, I don't know, I don't feel good about this right now. It's still in the prototype phase, the new WRX, so hopefully Subaru kind of improves on it a little bit. But something about it, I just don't like the style. It looks like a Crosstrek. A lot of Subaru fans know this by now, so I'm not going to rip on it too much. And actually over here we have another Travis Pastrana vehicle. The Subaru section is basically just a Travis Pastrana / Hoonigan section at this point. So now, although this display isn't as big as some of the other manufacturers here, I did just want to highlight Hyundai's display, because they do have a Veloster race car here, which is really cool. And then they also have a Kona N, as well as the new Hyundai Elantra N, which honestly is really damn surprising. It's styled like very aggressively. I heard a couple clips of the exhaust note, like the stock exhaust note, and it's actually really damn cool. So again, I don't really look at Hyundai as like that much of a brand, but honestly, in recent years, they've definitely been putting a lot of R&D to these performance-oriented vehicles. All right, so now making my way back over to the Toyota section. I don't know how the hell I walked right past this, but here we have the new 2023 GR Corolla from Toyota. And I literally did a video, or a couple videos on this, like literally just weeks ago now. I mean, the reveal just happened, and these GR Corollas are very awesome. It's definitely, again, one of those cars that looks a lot better in person, even though it already looks good to begin with from what I saw. And this is, I believe, the Circuit Edition, because I can see the nice big rear spoiler on the back there. And I do like how much wider the rear fenders are here. And the diffuser, the triple exhaust, which I think is pretty unique. But yeah, this thing's just styled so damn good. And honestly, with 300 horsepower, all-wheel drive, and the kind of like selective power where it can put power to different wheels in different drive modes, is definitely going to make it perform pretty well compared to other hot hatches. And now walking back over to the other side of this floor, you can see right behind me these Hyundai SUVs just ripping around, and they're completely quiet, and that's because they're the new Ionios, I don't know how to pronounce them, to be completely honest with you, but I really love the whole format of this side of the floor, because over here you have Lincoln, which is obviously, you know, the luxury section of Ford, or like I guess the luxury company of Ford, and in the center there you can actually see Elvis Presley's '56 Lincoln Continental, which is really neat. And Lincoln's kind of display moves all the way back here, and then right in front of me I can actually see the start to the Rolls-Royce display. So this is more obviously of the luxury oriented section of the auto show. Now walking up to the Rolls-Royce section, and you can see, I mean, I just love the fact that they, you know, put like all the fake hedges around and everything. If you guys have been subscribed to my channel, you know that I typically focus on either modified cars or performance cars. Don't typically spend that much time over like luxury vehicles, but I just really love how everything is set up. And then in the back there you got Bentley. Right here I did actually just want to highlight this Karma Revero GT. I believe it's a Revero GT, but I actually did do a review on this a while back over the I think over last summer, and they're pretty fun cars to drive, honestly. And for what they cost, like, they're not really that bad. They're more of like an entry-level supercar slash luxury oriented supercar. Even though, again, I do kind of like ripping on electric cars, they're pretty fun for an electric vehicle, and I really love the launch control because it like actually gives you like real-time 0 to 60 time, which is pretty neat. But I also did just want to briefly show you guys the brand new Jeep Wagoneer. I've been hearing a lot of good things about this. Again, more of a like luxury oriented SUV, but it's honestly really big in person. It's more of like the size of a modern Cadillac Escalade, and again, people are in it, so I'm not gonna like, you know, get up all in their face, but you can see the tan leather interior. If I could compare this Jeep Grand Wagoneer to two new SUVs, it'd probably be a new Escalade, or honestly even like a new Lincoln Navigator or something like that. But it's pretty cool that Jeep is putting out a luxury oriented SUV instead of like they're just regular you know, Wranglers or Cherokees. And then moving on the other side of the kind of luxury car display, you do have the new Porsche. I believe that's the Taycan Turbo S. And then of course you do have two rivaling Bentleys right behind those Rolls Royces over there. Although I do see something slightly over the little hedge display right here. And yeah, this is going to be the Lamborghini section. There's actually a tour going on right now that's kind of like right here, so I'm gonna make this quick. But here is the new Urus, or Urus. Actually, I think it's technically pronounced Urus. And then over here you have the brand new different Huracan. I forgot the name right now. I'll probably edit it on the screen right now as I'm talking. But yeah, that thing looks just crazy. The front end is completely redesigned. Can't really tell what the rear end looks like just from this angle, and you can't actually get in that display over there. Definitely really cool to see the you know, Urus and the new Huracan in person. But honestly, I was hoping for a little bit more Lamborghinis, because Lamborghini is probably my favorite supercar brand. But now that we've wrapped up like the quick walk around of the main floor, I'm going to continue on and either head up or down the stairs and see what else there is to show you guys. So now I actually made my way to the lower level of the auto show, and it's completely different down there. Down here, there's not as nearly as much cars. There's like an electric bike test track, which I find kind of hilarious, because definitely like a lot of just electric stuff down here. Looks like there's Teslas over here, and there's also like another little test track set up, which is pretty neat. But I mean, pretty much all these manufacturers are just taking like their electric family SUVs, or you know, things of that nature, and just kind of going like 5 miles per hour around like a little track. This is actually one thing that's pretty interesting. So this is a little exhibit, I think called New York Electrified or something, and there's actually a display with both a Tesla taxi, or Tesla NYC taxi, as well as a Mustang Mach-E taxi, and also NYCD, I guess Correctional Division Mustang Mach-E, which is kind of funny because like a month ago now, I actually did see my very first ever Mustang Mach-E police car in a town like actually not that far away from my house, which is kind of funny. The one thing that actually is really cool on the lower level that I'm really kind of drawn to is the raised booth, the raised wheels booth. And right over here, we have this really awesome, like kind of time attack S2000 right in the very front and center of their booth. You can see like the huge like front splitter this thing has, and then the actual wheels, which are obviously, you know, what's really on display here, are you know, just like beautiful. I mean, these I'm pretty sure these are like Volk wheels, they're the Volk racing wheels, but all of them are just absolutely amazing. And then over here on this 488, you do have another set of the forged kind of like satin black Volk racing wheels paired with the titanium nuts with it. It just looks very, very like an awesome look. I mean, it's simple. Most of them are either like the 6-spoke or 5-spoke, very simple designs, but really cool. You also have like an Infinity over there with a completely different design wheel, and then a new wheel for the new Super that actually goes really well with the overall styling of the Mark V. And then I also really like this kind of little Honda truck here with little baby wheels on them too, but again, they're still raised, which is really neat. And then over on this side, they do have a lot of their racing seats just lined up, a lot of the Bride racing seats, and you can actually sit in them, which is really cool. I mean, a lot of their products are just really high end, and they do have a lot of their new model wheels on display for people to see. Obviously, like the higher end ones being the Volk racing right there, and then kind of going into the cast ones, which are the Graham lights. But even the cast ones, I was talking with one of their sales reps, and even the cast ones are still, I mean, really good quality. I mean, it's raised. So this booth is definitely probably one of the cooler booths on this lower level, and there's also some modified cars, it looks like, back there, so I'm gonna go check out what they are. Walking over to this section behind me, you have like a Marine Corps kind of inspired Hummer, and then over here, like I previously mentioned, you do have the like NYPD style, or I guess NYPD Mustang Mach-E, and it's actually pretty interesting because, again, like I said before, I've already seen one like on the road, so it's pretty trippy to see, especially when comparing to like the older Ford Explorers as well as like the old, pretty old Crown Vics. And actually right behind me is the new Volvo XC40 Recharge. I previously did a review on this vehicle as well. Pretty cool little SUV, definitely fast. Again, it's fully electric, so it's gonna have a quick acceleration even if it's an SUV. But yeah, there's really like not a crazy amount of stuff that I'd like to film on this lower half, so I'm pretty much just gonna wrap up today's video. But definitely be sure to like and subscribe down below, because I'm going to be putting out multiple videos from this single event, because there's just a ton of stuff that I want to film. I've probably missed a couple things definitely in this video alone. If you definitely want to see some of the other stuff that I may have not have highlighted in this video, definitely be sure to subscribe and be on the lookout for more videos from me about the New York Auto Show. But like always, thank you guys so much for all the support, and I'll see you in the next one.